Hello all, and welcome to this, and this is going to be a long overdue video where I talk about a bunch of stuff. So before we get on to, well, first thing we're going to talk about is New Japan, because I haven't talked about Dominion. And we're getting ready to do the iPPV for the July 5th, in about 4 hours or so, 3 or 4 hours. So, yeah, so by the time most of you see this, that iPPV will already take place. That is not about that iPPV. That is about the Dominion pay-per-view, which was the one before, which was amazing, which I'm sure all of you have already heard, and you should go out of your way and see. So there you go. It was an awesome show. It was, I think I said this on the last video I did, talking about New Japan. That, yeah, you know, this show looked like it was going to be really, really good, and it turned out to be amazing. Where the show before this one, before Dominion, looked like it was going to be amazing, and only turned out to be really good because they didn't have enough time to give the, all those guys what they needed to have an awesome show. So hopefully that doesn't happen then in July, where they have another awesomely stacked show, which looks like will be the case. I don't know if I'm going to do the one that's taking place today. Uh, or not. I'll watch it if I hear good things about it. The biggest thing to me is that they're going to announce the G1 competitors, which if Shibata is not in the G1, I will be upset, because he definitely, in my opinion, should be in the G1, particularly after the match he had with Goto, which was awesome. Probably my favorite match of the year. It's definitely right up there with Okada and Tanahashi from earlier this year. New Japan is just on this insane, crazy, wacky ride of iPay-per-view. I will say this, uh, after the last, or I think it was either after or before the last iPay-per-view, little debate happened talking about, should New Japan do English commentary? I think they should. I really do. I think if they're going to be serious, I sound like Dave Meltzer when I say this, but it's the truth. If you're going to be serious about, getting American fans, you need to do English commentary. You do. You have to do it. I know not everybody wants it. There should be some sort of option where if you don't want the English commentary, you don't have to have it, and if you want the English commentary, you should have it. Definitely think that should be the case, because I really feel like for them to, if they're really serious about trying to get a foothold, even if it's just a little foothold in the United States, that's what they need to do. So yeah. I definitely, I'm on that side, which will probably shock and amaze a lot of people. But that said, watching Japanese matches with Japanese commentary doesn't bother me, and I personally kind of like it sometimes. So it's not like it's a deal breaker for me personally, but I do understand where people are coming from when they say that. So I do definitely think you do need to do the English commentary. So there is that. But this show was awesome, like I said. The junior tag match was definitely better than I think that's the best match I'd seen those four guys have. So that was great. The Shibata Goto match, which I'm sure everyone has already, if you're watching this, you probably already heard about it, was amazing. Very stiff. I mean, it was just these guys beat the fuck out of each other. Literally beat the fuck out of it. This was like an old school, or not old school. This was like a '90s All Japan just stiff fest, and it was awesome. It looks like Shibata's going to get, or Goto will get his win back at the end of July. I hope that's not what they do, but it looks like that's what they're going to do. And of course, the other thing coming out of the iPay-per-view is that they set up the whole Devitt thing. Devitt beat Tanahashi in his match. I know some people didn't like that match. I liked it. It was very WWE-ish or American-ish, but I think that was fine. But you didn't have really anything else on the show that was like that. Worst match of the show was definitely the Rob Conway match, even though it really wasn't his fault. As long as they keep putting him in there with guys that they put him in there with guys that are good, I think he can have a good match. I think he's shown that. But you put a guy in there that it sucks, and yeah, that's what you're gonna get. So, anyways, if you haven't seen it, I definitely would say go out and watch it. It was definitely worth seeing. And like I said, the Shibata Goto match was awesome. Then, of course, let's see what else is up. Oh, yes, there was a Ring of Honor iPay-per-view, which was good. I wouldn't call it great, which has been kind of my problem. That is when, even though I loved the moment when Jay won the championship, it's very evident that, to me, that if he didn't lose it quickly, this is kind of what you were going to get, and that's kind of what we got, where the main events are just kind of lackluster, and Ring of Honor can't have lackluster main events. So there we go. Then of course the Briscoes. What's going on with them? Don't know. I would hope Ring of Honor wasn't stupid enough to keep the titles on them if they weren't going to be under contract, but who knows. It also looks like the American Bulls might be leaving the Ring of Honor too, so who knows about all that. As I've said before, the talent just is not there that was once there for Ring of Honor, just to keep, filling guys as they go in, and WWE is, more in tune with just hiring dudes and trying to see if they can get them to work. So there's that. And then you have New Japan, who's just going to hire, guys, a lot of these guys for junior tags and junior matches anyway. So there you go. I still think it was a mistake not hiring Loki. I know that he had kind of burned his bridges there, but still, who cares? The guy is definitely what I think they needed. Of course, now apparently he's retired, so none of that matters. And yeah, so, and of course, Ring of Honor had another kind of mess up. I didn't see it live, so I didn't see it, but I guess the buffering was truly horrible. And so Ring of Honor said, you know what, screw this. We're not doing live pay-per-views anymore. Is it a mistake? Probably, but if they can't get it right, I think the best stop is not to do them live. Now, I will say this: if you're not going to do them live, they can't put them up the next day. They need to go up the same day. If the show is, a late afternoon show, it needs to be like 2 hours later, and the shows need to go up. They need to go up that quickly. It needs to be pretty much, instantaneous. As close to when the shows are over, the shows go up type of deal. If that's not the case, then I do see that as a major, 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 major problem. Without question, major, 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 major problem. Now, as far to why they keep having the glitches, this. I have no proof of this. This is just me just throwing this out there of what I think the deal is. You're dealing with, most reports you read, Ring of Honor gets probably, with the exception of Jakara, at least double of what everyone else is doing on iPPV. To me, because usually where they have the issues is when they, usually, not all the time, but usually is when they run an iPay-per-view from a building the first time. That's usually when they have the major issues. And so that's, and on top of that, the buildings they run really aren't set up to be running iPay-per-view or any type of really pay-per-view whatsoever. And that's the other issue. You're not running like New Japan. New Japan should never have an issue because they're running places that have, excellent fiber optics. They're running places that, have very up-to-date, Dragon Gate, which I didn't get to see their iPay-per-view. There wasn't really anything on there that made me go, wow. And I'm talking about Dragon Gate in Japan. They're now doing iPay-per-views, I hope. Next iPay-per-view, next pay-per-view. They're still kind of up in the air on that. But they should be the same issue because they run big enough arenas where there shouldn't be that issue. Where Ring of Honor is running, 500 to 1,500 seat places that really aren't set up to be doing that, and I think that's the bigger issue. I think that's why they have that problem. I think that's why Evolve and Dragon Gate USA. I think that's why they have the problems that they had. I think that's when you look at Chikara, I think the reason why Chikara didn't have those problems, because they were running places where I think they knew they could run the iPay-per-views. Now, that's just me. I could be completely wrong. That's not me trying to give them, any type of, ooh, let's make an excuse, because I think at the same time you should be running places where you can run the iPay-per-views, and if you don't know you can run them there, then you shouldn't be running them there. So there you go. So like I said, could be a huge mistake, but like I said, if they can get them up fairly quickly, I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. I think it's still a big deal. I think they're not going to make as much money as they could on these, but if they're not going to be live, then they need to be up there like as quickly as humanly possible. So there is that too. Let's see what else is going on. Sting apparently has put out, if you believe the rumors, feelers to TNA, or TNA to WWE. If that's the case, if he just does one match with Undertaker, I'm fine with that. Even if they, for 15 minutes do smoke and mirrors and circle each other and really not do anything. The fact that you have Sting and Undertaker at WrestleMania taking place, that's really all that needs to take place. Let's see what else. TNA got rid of, it looks like, most of the people that won Gut Check, which is kind of sad. And I think it says a lot about Gut Check, where they really haven't used that well. They should have brought in guys that they knew they could get over very quickly, and then push them to the moon to make people believe that, hey, this is a big deal, and that these guys might be the next future stars, and make people believe they do have some say on who's getting pushed and who's a star and who's not. But they didn't do that, and so no one gives a shit about it, basically. And I did watch Impact for the first time in forever last week, not this week, but last week, and it was, to everyone that has told me that I should be watching Impact and that it was getting better, if that's getting better, I'm sorry, that was shit. Just saying, it was shit. Now, people have said that it wasn't as good as it had been, but dear God, that was horrible. It was crap. It was bad. And I don't mean just like the wrestling was bad. Where it used to be I could watch Impact and the wrestling was really good. Uh, but yeah, I wouldn't even say that. The X Division 3-way was okay, but was and then the whole suicide thing was kind of stupid in my opinion. I didn't like the show whatsoever. So there was that, where I can at least watch Raw, and I'm gonna get a good Daniel Bryan match and a good Shield match. And sometimes they have good matches together and they have awesome matches. So at least I know I'm gonna get that. So anyways. But I think I've rambled on enough. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? Anything else to talk about at all? Not really. Not unless you want to hear me talk about Bellator. Yes, went to a live Bellator event. Went to the, I guess they're putting on 2 shows over the summer, so I went to the first one. Good show live. Was interesting. The casino they held it at, I didn't like the way they had it set up, where if you had to use the bathrooms, you basically had to take your ticket, have them scan the ticket, leave, come back, have them scan the ticket again. There was no bathrooms actually in where the place was. That kind of sucked. Did get to meet Randy Couture. That was cool. Did get to meet Frank Shamrock. That was cool. Got to meet, who else did I get to meet? Greg Jackson. That was basically all 4 guys from Fight Master. Got to meet them. Got to meet War Machine as well, and his porno girlfriend, as she was out in the crowd, and then he was out. Glad handling like most of the night. And I know the dude's had his problems, but as far as that went, as far as like interacting with the fans, he was awesome. So I'll give him credit there. So the show was good. I think what you guys saw was pretty good. The fight of the night was a show that I believe they've stuck it on their YouTube channel. It was after the TV card. It was a local guy versus some guy from California, I think, who missed weight, and he wound up winning. But they had no cardio. One of those really sloppy, fun, just they beat the shit out of each other matches, and so that was pretty freaking cool. And it was good. I mean, even after the TV stuff went off, pretty much everybody stayed until the last fight. So it was good. It was 2 hours drive for me, which I will never do that again, because on the way back I killed myself twice, almost falling asleep in the car. So we won't be doing that again. But yeah, as far as Bellator goes, that was a lot of fun, and I would definitely love it if they, hopefully they come back soon. Because it seems like every season they come to Oklahoma every once in a while, so that's good. And I'd love to see them again. So because wasn't too bad. It was fun. There was exciting fights. I got to see a bunch of knockouts. So there you go. So, but anyways, I've rambled on enough. As I said, Dragon Gate now. Maybe we'll get another iPPV. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about the first iPPV. I heard a lot about, because everyone was raving about it, but I didn't get a chance to see it. And then the one that took place, I guess, yesterday. I haven't got a chance to see that one either, but it didn't look like a show that I would necessarily necessarily want to see, but I heard it was good, so there was that. Hopefully, the next show, which looks like it's going to be really good, will be on iPPV as well. I think they announced it for pay-per-view, so I don't know if they're going to simulcast it or something. I hope they do, but we'll see. You know, the more stuff we can see, the better. But yeah, end of July, the New Japan pay-per-views looks like it's going to be awesome. Also looks like they're going to try to put on a majority of the G1 tournament, which that should be awesome as well. So anyways, I've rambled on enough. I just wanted to come on here and just kind of ramble a little bit. And I did, so there we go. Later.